Da 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 da. So this is the follow-up to my previous gameplay video, which was my best game of Halo Reach and Halo overall ever. If you haven't seen that, I suggest you go and see that first. That would be the well, it's not live commentary, but it was the soon after commentary, and I basically did that on a whim. Suggested by my friend Johnny, but I was very not prepared for that. I just literally, played the video and started doing it. However, now that I look back upon what I did almost 2 weeks ago, I feel that it wasn't enough. It wasn't a deep enough commentary into my thought processes and the tactics I employed in the game, and I felt that I wanted to make this video, which is essentially an extended commentary of what on earth happened in that game and what I was thinking about as I played, as well as a bit of a in hindsight analysis as to the do's and don'ts during that game, what good plays I made, what mistakes I made, at least from my point of view. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a clean version of this video. The archive in Halo was overwritten by newer games, so there's going to be no sound for the gameplay, but much of the things I have to say doesn't necessarily involve the sound effects, so it's only a minor hindrance, if at all. Halo Reach Tutor, if you ever see this, I just want you to know, I am grateful. Here we are, the game is starting, and I'm going to start here, actually. The thought process starts here with what map am I playing on? What are my strengths? What am I good at doing? What weapons I use best? Do those weapons exist on this map? Where do they spawn? How am I going to get them? All these things went through my mind. Basically, the minute when I saw it was countdown. I basically have a set path for many of the maps. So you see me spawn in, and immediately I'm sprinting away. Now you see on the bottom left there, the symbol of a running man. That means I've chosen the sprint armor ability. Remember, this is Halo from 2010, so sprint was still an optional thing instead of being general purpose as it is now. I chose sprint specifically for this map because I know the energy sword spawns, and the energy sword, by my knowledge, is one of the few weapons you can use while sprinting to close the gap between you and your opponents very quickly. Now, I almost sprint into the wrong hallway, but I correct myself, and I take the grav lift up to steal the energy sword. Another tactical consideration here, weapons choice. You'll notice I dropped what is essentially the assault rifle, which is, as you might guess, a mainly close-range weapon. The other weapon I was holding, if you noticed earlier, was a scoped designated marksman rifle. That's great for mid to long range combat. So of course it makes sense to ditch a close combat weapon for a better close combat weapon. The alternative would be having an assault rifle and a sword and being unable to shoot at anyone further than 5 feet away. Not exactly ideal. Now I see some enemies on the radar, so I'm crouching to avoid detection. Now I can tell that the enemy is lower than me, and now I have a choice. I can either jump down there and sword them with my newly found energy sword, or I can stay up here and shoot them. Now, as Obi-Wan said, you always want the high ground, and you don't want to give it up easily. So if I jump down there, I lose that high ground. I have to climb all the way back up again, so I'd rather just shoot him here with my marksman rifle. This is what I choose to do, and it's an easy headshot. So now, I want to head back over there. Now, if you look at this area near the left side of the screen, where that little hexagon-looking thing is, that's a health pack, by the way, that there is prime territory on this map. Pretty much a center of transportation, and pretty much the highest spot on the map that you can get. On an asymmetric map like Countdown, you want to find a good defensive position that you can lock down and wait for your enemy to come to you. It's a lot easier to defend than to attack, and on Countdown, that is the spot. Now, I'm pretty damn sure I've been spotted there, so I break line of sight and I hide in this corner. Now, this is because I'm expecting the other guy to throw grenades. It's important to throw grenades into tight areas to flush your opponent out or do as much damage to them before you close in for the kill and or leave them alone. Now, I'm expecting the other guy is going to do this, so I'm just huddled in a corner, far away from the door, hoping his grenades won't bounce towards me. And sure enough, one comes flying in, but doesn't do much to me. So I sneak closer a little bit, and I notice there's a dot on my radar indicating that there's someone pretty darn close to me. He looks like he's in range of my sword, and since I might be able to get the jump on him and I have sprint, I choose to charge out and try to chop him. Now, unfortunately, as you can see here, his teammate is over there looking my way. So I managed to get the guy closest to me, but I am outgunned. Sword is a one-hit killing weapon, but it does not make your Spartan any stronger. If I continued to charge ahead, and that guy was smart enough to backpedal, chances are he might have gotten me with a DMR headshot before I could reach him and kill him with the sword. So instead, I choose the safe thing and run away. Now, in anticipation that someone's going to jump down and chase me, I crouch and I hide in the corner here, waiting for them to show up. Sure enough, one guy comes, and I get a ghost kill? I somehow managed to chop his legs, I guess. Now, I've lost the high ground, and I've shaken off my pursuer, so I immediately run back to this little area to help defend it. Now, you can see the rest of my team is pretty much holding out here. They're aware that this is prime real estate as well. Now, you see me lying in ambush by this hole. This hole is a prime spot for ambushes and flanking people who are running through the corridors down below. However, I also draw out my sword next to the hole, which is a bad idea, because the sword's glow and the little particles that come out when I light it up, those can go through the floor. And if you're looking from downstairs, you can easily tell that someone's got an energy sword turned on and is waiting for you upstairs. Now, I see that the red dot has moved towards the central vents, and sure enough, this guy comes tumbling out, back first, for some unknown reason. Now, it's generally a bad idea to go up grav lifts or air vents such as these when you know the enemy team is in control of the exit points. Somehow, this silly guy goes up with his back to me, and he gets chopped for his troubles. I don't know how I missed the first swing, but whatever. So I'm still prowling around this upper area, and I think I hear my teammates shooting at someone. I look around, and sure enough, there's a guy downstairs that I get an easy headshot on. Now, up next is the flanking I was telling you about. This guy basically just runs past that hole without even, considering the fact that I might be there waiting for him, and I get an easy chop to the back. Still prowling around the top, then I see this guy. He runs into that room where I was before, and you see I'm throwing grenades into there, hoping to kill him. Unfortunately, my second grenade bounces out, so I close in for the kill, and he's charging me for some reason, firing wildly. So I turn around, and then I see this guy. I shoot him once, but he breaks line of sight, so I whip out my sword. I notice he hasn't gone very far, so I charge in there, and sure enough, he hasn't gone anywhere. Except for the afterlife, because I sent him there. Now, as you can see, I'm still patrolling this little prime real estate area near the top of the map, looking out for red dots and opportunities to ambush people. I see some activity down there, but I don't want to jump down there just yet. And I notice all the red dots are over here, and there are mistakes made in this game. This might be one of them. Now, if you had been paying attention for the last couple of seconds, you would have noticed that there should be 3 enemies in the vicinity. There's actually 3 red dots, but one of them's disappeared, and so I see only 2. And still, I jump down there. It's actually a reckless move. Thankfully, one teammate's got me covered, and the other guy, I think, has run upstairs, so I'm only facing one guy, and I get the drop on him, and I chop him to pieces. Now, I make my way back up, and I see this guy running into the corner. I'm assuming he's still there, so I'm trying to bounce grenades off the wall. Sure enough, he's still there. I charge him, avoid his grenades, and get the killing frenzy. Then I shoot this guy down there. I just happen to see him. Don't bother jumping down. He's just standing there for some reason, and I get the kill. Now, as you can see, I'm still prowling the upstairs, and this might be the worst mistake in the entire game. I see the guy's gone down there, and I jump down after him, sandwiched in between 2 enemies. Luckily enough, this guy's running away, and the second guy doesn't seem to see me. Otherwise, I could have been, spit roasted between the 2 of them right there. And I do not know how I survived this one. This is just luck right here, that my teammate was there to bail me out. So I grab the health pack on the wall right there, and I think about how to get back up. Now this is another slightly risky move. I know that my teammate's up there in combat. I jump up there hoping to give him a hand, and I basically run right into, I don't know, I think it's his grenade, and I take damage. Now up next is a classic move. If you're getting charged at by a close-range weapon, throw a grenade at the wall. Chances are the guy will run right into it, take a lot of damage, and you can finish him off with whatever else weapon you have. Now this next encounter, he's slightly too far away for the sword, so I choose to DMR him. Thankfully, his aim isn't great, and it's an easy headshot. Also, a slightly dumb move by me for not reloading when there's a lull in the fighting. Now this is an example of teamwork not requiring the mic. If you look at the radar, which is a little blurry right now, you'll see that all 4 of us are clustered on this side of the map. What does that mean? It means that the other side, the other entrance to this prime real estate area is completely unguarded, and if there was any enemy there, he could just sneak up and get the jump on us. So I turn back, I head on back over there, using my radar, and I'm crouching to ensure that they don't see me on the radar. Sure enough, there are red dots. This guy comes up with his back to me again. That's the second time somebody's done that game that I was aware of, and that was just rather silly. So I see there's fighting over here, and here is an example of a decision to not attack. I had prepared to charge in, but I realized that my buddy is killing him with a concussion rifle. That's an area of effect weapon, and if I charged into that, I'd get blasted as well, so I decided not to charge in there. Now the enemy is pushing up this side of the tunnel. I actually get spooked here from the radar because of the red dot, and I whip out my sword. Now one guy dies, but I see the other 2 reds down there fighting with my teammates. Now this is a position worth looking at. See, if I charge down there right now, I would run into those 2 enemies' line of fire, and I would take fire myself, and the other one further back might just get me before I can sword the both of them. So I think at this point I was yelling into my mic, lure them in, and as you can see, I'm here just waiting for the opportune moment. When both of them are lined up, I sneak in behind them, and I get the double kill. So I turn around and I see this guy. Now he's a bit too far away, and as you can see, he's depleted my shields completely. So I hide behind a corner. For some reason, he chooses to chase me, and I get the kill with the sword from around the corner. Same with these guys. These guys do not suspect a thing, and I just end up slashing them. He's preoccupied, and so I get another easy kill on him. Distracted enemies are easy fodder, so if you find an enemy distracted by your teammates, make use of that opportunity. I see this guy coming up the lift, and I'm already, ready to grenade him and shoot him. And I throw an extra grenade here, hoping to get that explosive box that I'm pretty sure is over there. And you can see the explosive box go up in smoke, but I didn't get the kill, unfortunately. Now I'm back over here, and I notice this red dot down there. I get the drop on him, and you notice he is sneaking. Now sneaking slows you down, but it also makes you invisible on the radar or motion sensor that many Halo players, myself included, rely on, so he could have assassinated me if I wasn't being careful and I hadn't seen him before. Luckily, I noticed this red dot as he was moving to my position, and I got the jump on him. Then I turn the corner, and I notice something seems to be off about my teammate. So you can see my rifle aimed and ready. Always want to be aiming where you think the enemy will be. Now this particular encounter, I don't think there's much to say about it. It's just a standard DMR fight. Oh, but one thing to note, though. You see how he threw a grenade in the middle of the firefight? Slight gamble there to throw a grenade when you're already firing at each other. If the grenade hits, then fair enough. But if you don't, you waste precious time. Now you see me being rather cautious here. I'm still at my little hidey hole, my little ambush hole. And I noticed that one guy's coming up, but the others, I didn't want to get sandwiched between them. So I stay up on this top floor. And I'm constantly monitoring where the dark red dot is, which indicates an enemy below me. If you know where the enemy is, it's not always a bad idea to throw a grenade or two. You can sometimes get lucky, like I did there. And with this guy, I see my teammate die. I think he might be passing this way. I chuck a grenade. It actually drains some of his shields. Now, right around here, you see me check the scoreboard, and I can see I have 25 kills. And I got the untouchable medal just now, which means I have not died this entire game. That would also mean I am eligible for the Perfection Medal, which is 15 plus kills, no deaths, in a Slayer game type, this being one. And so you'll see me start playing extremely, extremely cautiously. I don't chase people down all that often. I stay on the high ground, and I'm generally protecting myself because I realize I've accomplished something here that I probably won't ever see again. So I notice this guy, he's come up the air vent, standard DMR fight. Again, throwing that grenade was a bad move on his part. I dodged it, and he wastes precious time that he could have used to fire more bullets. Now here you notice I get spotted, so I retreat. I notice I get spotted again, and I jump, because I'm conscious that there is an explosive box right next to me, and one stray shot could send me to the moon. Now if you look at this frame right here, you can see that there is absolutely nothing on the radar. And I'm relying on my radar, and I think I'm in the clear. Turns out I'm not. There's this guy crouched right here, and I know I'm playing defensively, so I just run away at this point. I don't dare to charge him just in case I get killed and I lose my perfection medal. So I'm just looking around for red dots. I see this guy's above, but then I turn around. This guy's here. Thankfully, I can kill this guy. The grenade hurts me, but I can hide behind this wall, and I finish this guy off. And that is the game. As you can see, we win 50 to 16, and I go 28 kills, 0 deaths. For a untouchable cutting crew, which is 15 kills with a sword without dying, and perfection medal. Also, shoutouts to that Nemo guy on the other team who got 10 kills when his teammates got 3 and 2 respectively. I watched his footage in theater mode, and he was crouching around for much of the game. So I'm assuming his skill and his tactics allowed him to get more kills than his teammates combined. In fact, twice as much as his teammates combined. So props to him for putting up a good fight. And that is the end of this commentary. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope that this is an example of how shooting games is not just about aim and reaction time. The mind is just as important as the body. I'll see you guys around.